Welcome back to BethanyTaylorMade. I am finally onto the last part of this project, which is the bodice. I have my lovely model here. I have, as a busty lady, put a bra and padded her in so that my bust is actually the same measurement as mine in real life. I've never actually done this before, but I have some washi tape, so I'm going to mark out the silhouette that I aim to achieve on the bodice and basically proceed with starting to make the pattern for what I'm about to do. There's nothing more to talk about. I'm going to do it. First draft. I think it needs another diagonal boning piece just to help provide a bit more structure into this little bit here. This bit, I just followed the seam of the bust, but it's like, I don't know if you can tell, it's sticking out and making a really weird shape. So I'm going to kind of cut that curve and just follow it straight up. The back is way too short around the width. That's why I'm holding it, so I don't expose myself on camera. But overall, it's really good. I'm really happy with the shape. When it sits on the mannequin, I was a bit nervous because the skirt pokes out from underneath, but the skirt is well hidden the waistband underneath my actual body. So I think I'm going to cut out the fashion fabrics, maybe just add 2 inches to the very, very back width of the pattern, just so I've got a bit of extra fabric to work with because it is too short. My very last piece, which is just this center bit here. In the image, Ariel's got these little gathered pieces around her bust, and I really, really like that, but I just don't see how I'm going to get that effect from this fabric. It seems to be something where it's a shape that will be created with stretch, and this is not a particularly stretchy fabric. I've played with getting different bits of gathering here, and I just don't like it. Like, I don't like how where it's got the overlap, because it's a slightly translucent fabric, it looks darker in those areas. Like, I don't know, I guess it could work. I just don't like it. So I'm going to do just a standard basting like I've done with all the other pieces, sew them all together so that I've got the corset assembled. I just know I don't like this, and I just can't figure out how to get that shape without a bit more stretch in the fabric. So the bodice done! And it looks pretty good overall. This very, very overlayer hasn't been basted very well, so it is kind of a little floppy on the outside. But yeah, overall it looks really good. It fits really good. I added a few inches at the back, so it's going to seal up very well. I've just overlocked and sealed everything in that way, and I think it looks really good. It fits nicely, it's comfy. I've just added, I had a little bit of my trim left over from the waistband for the overskirt, so I've just added that to kind of get an indication of what it's going to look like. So on the top and the bottom there. I need to create the sleeve. My aim was to do that this morning, but I had to go pick up my sister from the airport, so that'll be a later job. And the other thing I have to do is decide which of these fabrics I'm going to use for the puffy bit at the top of the sleeve. So this is the original piece I bought, which is the exact same fabric as the overlay, just in a slightly lighter colour, whereas this one is the same fabric that I used for the overskirt. Now, I was leaning, up until this morning, I was leaning towards keeping it the same fabric as the overskirt, just to keep it simple and the same, but I think I actually like this fabric way more, and in person it actually reads way more green than this one does. So I think that's the piece I'm going to cut out. I'm debating whether or not to go and get a pattern for this to get the type of hoof that I want. I need to go and get some cord for the piping that's going to go around the neck. So when I am at Spotlight a little later today, I might go and have a look at this patterns and see if I can find anything that I think would look nice. I am now running very late. I need to go pick up Ellie from the airport. I'll see you soon. Would it be a Bethany sewing vlog if Ellie was not in it? Hello! I need all this help because this is really difficult to do by yourself.
Oh, okay, yeah, moving with sharp objects in my hand is very helpful. Thank you for that.
Do you remember how I always used to accuse you for putting things in your mouth?
Thank you. Let's make all the ladies and gentlemen.
What do we have here? Oh, it's between your stomach and my flab. Good job. Also, it's very accurate that we were singing a voodoo song there, and then I was about to stab you with a pin.
Okay, I got this rope. I just got it from the trim section at Spotlight earlier today, and this is what I'm going to use for my piping around the outside of the bodice. So Ellie is going to help me.
Now that's something I had nothing to do with this time.
I just need the top section. I need to help measure it around my shoulders because other lady who still doesn't have a name. Oh, I just pulled her off the base. Good job, me. She has no shoulders. That's not helpful.
You have shoulders though.
But I have shoulders. On my mannequin when I was looking at it before, I thought, maybe it's not quite the right size. I think it's okay. But I think it's actually, like, it gives the nice shape. I think I'm pretty happy with that.
I look like a potato next to the princess.
Princess Ellie.
The princess and the potato.
The princess and... That's the Barbie movie that we all love. So I was genuinely surprised at how well the puff bit of that sleeve looked in real life. When you look at it on the mannequin, it just flops, it sags, there's no life to it, which is the nature of the fabric. It was something I was worried about. When I went to Spotlight, I went to go and purchase starch to try and starch the fabric, give it a bit more stiffness. But the starch was 47 bucks. And like, I'm already dealing with a lot of cost with this project. I'm not buying starch for $47. If I'm being honest with myself, I didn't want the sleeves to be stiff. I wanted them to have a bit of movement because that's what the reference image seems to me. It seems like there's a bit of movement in the actual fabric. I've decided in order to try and prevent that fabric from flopping, I'm going to do a sleeve and then I'll insert the puff into the sleeve. It'll have from that base point an anchor. For the sleeve, I've got my residual fabric from the petticoat. Now there's only about 1 meter of this left, and I also need this for the binding for the piping around the outside. I've pinned the rope onto the outside and it looks amazing, so I think it's going to be the perfect thing for what I want. So I've not really had much experience with sleeves, and I don't have enough of this to play around with, but I still have heaps of the skirt fabric and the fabric I used for the bodice. So I think I'm just going to use some of this to draft and create a pattern. I think I can do it. I really think I can do it. Surely it can't be that difficult. Sleeves for a while now, and whilst I'm happy with the poof area, I've done a bit of playing with that, I am not happy with the actual sleeve itself. It sits fine here, but what I'm experiencing is it's tight around my arm and it's starting to pull the sleeve down and change the shape of the neckline, which is not what I want. I've just been playing and playing and I'm really not happy with it, and I know that part of that problem is because I've done a similar shape to what would be if it was going over the shoulder, where you need more fabric at the top. And the reality is that this shape does not encapsulate the entire shoulder. So what I've ended up doing is pinning just a small strip of fabric around the sleeves, and I'm going to just trace it and see what the shape actually looks like and see how different it is from the sleeve that I have to what the actual shape is, and try and make some adjustments from there, which will hopefully resolve the issues that I'm experiencing. I hope you're well. It is the 30th of October today, and I think it might be the day that I'm finally finishing this project. I basically finished the sleeves last night. They're all attached, they're looking great. I just need to do some binding around the base of the sleeves. So I decided, instead of kind of hemming it in, I just overlocked the edge to get rid of the raw fabric and attached just a small layer of interfacing, because I thought that that would help secure the points nicer, and I didn't really want to use boning on the ends. I thought that would get a bit irritating on my wrists because it's already irritating this area just up here. So cutting the binding for sleeves today, cutting the binding for the rope piping. What I'm doing right now is just securing the ends because they are getting really frayed, and I figured, like, when it's sitting on the edge, make it have a nice finish where the two points meet at the back with something that's secure like this. So I've just done one end, got the other end to go, plus this is the shoulder. I've also got to do the waist piping as well, and secure the zipper at the back. I'm going to do all of the piping by hand just to make sure I get the exact placing that I want on the bodice. Like, that's it, that's the entire project. We've got a dress up day at work tomorrow, and I'm debating whether or not to wear this dress, but I'm not going to be able to wear it if it's not finished. To be honest, I'm probably not going to do it because I don't want to sit at a desk all day wearing a corset that I've made myself that, to be honest, is not the most comfortable. But to say that I've finished it is still like a massive accomplishment because I'm ready to move on to other projects. So I'm going to finish binding these, install the zipper, cut the bias binding, and just attach everything together. I'm so close to the end. I'm going to go and do it now. So proud of how it came out. My little blonde Ariel. It would have been nice to have a wig, ideally, but that's more money that I can't afford to spend, and I would rather spend it on more fabric to make more projects at the end of the day. Thank you to Will, who filmed all of those beautiful shots that you saw over at the beach. I actually finished the project months ago, but I was so adamant that the reveal had to be filmed at the beach because it's the Little Mermaid. So I ended up waiting 2 or 3 months at the time that I actually finished the project, just because I wanted to be a mermaid princess on the beach. And I think it was well worth the wait, to be honest. That was such a fun time going out on the sand and getting all the funny looks from people walking by. I really had my princess fantasy in that moment. I'm normally pretty hard on myself when it comes to the things that I don't think turned out as well on a project, but really, like, I look at this and I am so proud of everything that I've accomplished through it, and I'm really looking forward to being able to wear this piece out and about. I think it's a really fun addition. I have this fantasy in my head of having enough princess gowns so that me and my girlfriends can all go out on the town in big ball gowns and I think I am one step close to fulfilling that fantasy with this one. I hope you've enjoyed watching the process of me creating this costume. Finishing this project has filled a void inside me that has fueled my desire to create more, and now I have 3 more gowns that are in my current stash that I will be working towards. So hopefully it's not too long between that and the next one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.